Hi and welcome to Rose Kitchen and Garden. So as you know, you must have already read, I'm going to talk about Abhyanga Snan. So what is Abhyanga Snan? What does it do for you? What has it done for me? When to do it, when not to do it, all of that. What to use while doing it, all of that today in this video. So Abhyanga Snan is basically an ancient Ayurvedic purification ritual with the use of an Ayurvedic massage, an Ayurvedic oil, or an utna. Normally, people do it only during Diwali. It's called the Pahli Angur or the Abhyanga Snan. But to be honest, Abhyanga Snan has got so many health benefits that it should be done on a regular basis. I myself personally do it twice a week because I am kind of, my mornings are free on Monday and Friday. There's no workout session or there's nothing like that. So, dropping, picking up. So, I am free on Mondays and Fridays in the morning. This is ideally to be done before you eat anything. So, it has to be done even before your breakfast. So, how do you do Abhyanga? When I'm telling you that, I'll tell you how it benefits you or it benefits anybody or how it has benefited me. So, okay, let's start from that first actually. So, Abhyanga massage is a full body massage, an Ayurvedic technique of massage. Now, when I say Ayurvedic technique of massage, it means in Ayurveda they believe that you massage your body in the direction of your hair growth. So I do two kinds. I do a lymphatic and I do an Ayurvedic. A lymphatic massage is where you bring you massage upwards. So you bring everything up, the blood circulation up. So the heart purifies the blood and sends oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. In Ayurveda, what you do is you massage towards your hair growth, in the direction of your hair growth. And you massage circular on your elbows, on your knees, on your ankles, on your wrists, on your ankles, your fingers. You stretch them out this way. How to massage is another video because it's really in depth and you need to know how to do it right. What it does, it purifies your blood, it circulates your blood properly, so it has proper blood circulation throughout your body. It gives you that glow, your hair becomes nice and nourished, the hair growth increases, your skin looks younger. In fact, a few days ago I went for a facial, and you know how these facials are, these specialists will always tell you that, oh, your hair is too dry, you take this package, hair spa, the most expensive hair spa, or your face is so dry, your skin is so dry, you take the most expensive facial. But I recently went to a parlor, and then they had this machine where they analyze your skin, and my skin actually is 7 years younger than my real age right now at the moment. So I think that was all thanks to this Abhyanga practice that I do. Also also they say it improves your lung capacity, it makes you calm, it increases your self-esteem. You feel very good about yourself, which I'm sure, because when you're massaging yourself, when you're pampering yourself, when you're giving yourself that time and attention and love, and in that calm, serene atmosphere where I play a Balinese spa music in the background or some relaxing music in the background, so you're giving yourself that massage, it kind of releases these feel good hormones like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. So you really feel good. And as women, we have so many stresses in life, the hormones that stresses out, the hormones that are secreted pre-menstrual, post-menstrual, pre-menopause, post-menopause, all of that is happening in our body. We really need to calm ourselves down, and this Abhyanga massage certainly circulates blood and makes you feel happy. But the fragrance in these oils, because of the herbs that are infused in the oils, really lifts your mood. So without further ado, let me start on how to do this. So for this you need oil. Now what kind of oil you need? You need oil which doesn't get hardened with the weather. So coconut oil gets hard, as you know, so you need to use like either a mustard oil, sesame oil, olive oil, sunflower oil, almond oil. So almond oil, mustard oil, olive oil, sesame oil, these oils you can use. Now what you need to do with your oil is you take hot water in a glass or something, and immerse your bottle in it. Now take a squeezy bottle or a pump bottle. This is less messy. Now this I have made on my own. This is my oil. I infuse it with the herbs like rosemary or ylang ylang or thyme, and then I filter it out because otherwise it will get stuck in this pipe. But if you have no time to make your own oils, use just a basic sesame oil, you can, or you get these oils in the market. This is an Abhyanga oil specifically made for this Abhyanga purpose. Or this is, I believe, I like these Forest Essential products. I personally use them and I really find it very nice. So they have this harmonizing body massage oil. This is Desi Gulab and Oud. So you can take, they are big into these wellness products, you know. So you can use any of the massage fragrance oil that you like. So this is deep nourishing massage oil, and it's got, this base oil is sesame oil, almond oil and apricot oil. This also has ghee and amalaki and all of that, which is very essential in massage oil. So this is something nice. You should have this. Buy this. I also use an after bath oil. This is again Forest Essential Oud and green tea. But you see how much I've used this? It's because I don't need to use any moisturizer or any oil after I've done my Abhyanga. Abhyanga nourishes you from top to toe. So having said that, how do you start your Abhyanga? So for me, normally you just apply oil to your body and start your Abhyanga. What I do is I have this dry massager. See this? I rub this all over my body first, you know. It helps loosen dead skin and all of that. It starts the invigoration already, and then I apply oil. Now when you start applying oil, you start it from your head. So you can use the same oil that you use for your hair, for your body, or you can use separate oils. For me, I use separate oils because I make my own hair oil, you see, with the khas, that is vetiver, and tulsi seeds, and methi and hibiscus and curry leaf and all the dry herbs that I have gathered. I just put my normal coconut oil or almond oil in this, and I seep it and I let it stay here, and I use this oil for my hair. So you apply it nicely on your scalp, you massage it in circular motion this way, and then you also apply it to the tip of your hair. Okay, then you come back to the neck. Now neck, like I said, how to massage is another video. If you want it, please tell me in the comment section, and I will surely make another video on how to massage or how I massage. But one tip I would like to give you is, like I said, Ayurveda believes in the massage in the direction of your hair growth. So on the neck, nape of your neck also, it's going to be at the direction of your hair growth, this way. But I personally believe that in the front of the neck, never go down, always go up. This prevents wrinkles and keeps the neck looking youthful. Neck is the biggest giveaway of your age, by the way. So if you see all these actresses, when they grow old, you know, they start wearing this heavy jewelry here or covering their neck, because that's the biggest giveaway, and your hands. So also do not forget to, bedtime ritual is you have to moisturize your hands and sleep, but every now and then keep moisturizing your hands. And this Abhyanga, when you do twice a week, also make sure you give special attention to the fingers and your hands. Now coming to your body, you can use your normal oil. Now leave this oil for 10 minutes in a enclosed space. You sit and relax for 10 minutes. So think good thoughts, be happy, listen to your nice calming music, stay inside the bathroom for 10 minutes or wherever you're doing your massage. Make sure there is no draft of wind coming, there's no aircon, there's no window that, you know, or close the window, so there are no strong breeze is coming, because it's not good. It can capture gas in your air in your system, so it's not good. So you should do it in a closed place. And then after 10 minutes you can just go for your hot water bath, or what I do is I apply Utna or Ubtan. Now Ubtan is like a scrub with fragrance. Now the scrub removes all the dead cells, it invigorates your skin, and the aroma lifts your spirits, lifts your mood. You know, so this is my Ubtan that I make at home. But if you don't have time to make it at home, like these scrubs and all, you know, you use Rakta Chandan, Ambe Harad, Nagar Motha, Keshar, and all of these things to make this Uptan. Again, another video if you want on homemade Uptans and scrubs. But you wet this with, you add gram flour, that is besan, to this to apply to your body. If you're allergic to besan, do not use it. You can wet this with rose water or cream or whole milk or milk, stuff like that. Yeah, so and then you can apply it to all over your body, and then you can go for your bath. Now what I would like to tell you all is, normally what people do is they use, say, almond scrub or whatever, they make it at home. You have to remember one thing, it has to be fine powder, because when you're applying, this is, by the way, we were told when we were flying, we were trained by the most sought after industry beauty experts. So they told us that when you're doing a facial also, when you're scrubbing your face, make sure that the scrub is fine. Again, Forest Essential has a very nice scrub. I don't have it with me right now here, it's in my fridge. But their fruit scrub is so good. They know what they're doing. The particles are so fine. What happens with rough particles is when you're massaging, you're kind of creating cuts on your face. These cuts, as the skin's natural ability or natural inclination is to heal. So when your skin is healing, you're creating fine lines, which is so wrong, because fine lines is age. It's age showing on your face. So you have to use Uptan, or you have to use face scrubs which has fine particles. So I would suggest, again, Forest Essential. This is a Narangi and Nagkeshar Uptan. I use this for my face. For the other parts of the body, it's the one that I make at home. So it's tested in, see, my Uptans are not tested, right? So they're good to use for the other parts of the body. Though I use organic products and stuff like that, but I can't authenticate where they were grown. So anyway, so this is tested. This is comes with a lot of testing and all of that. So I use this for my face and I use this for my body. So that's it. After that, after my Abhyanga, after my oil massage is done, after I'm completely relaxed, I apply this Uptan. I let the oil soak for good 10 minutes. I apply this Uptan all over my body. I wash my hair, I wash my body off. Feels so good. Now, what you're not supposed to do, or when you're not supposed to do this Abhyanga Snan is, of course, like I said, you can do it every day. It only gives you health benefits. There's no scientific data backing these health benefits, but as you know, pranayam till a few years was not backed by the West. Yoga was not for many years backed by the West, or turmeric was not backed by the West, but it's our ancient practice. When it is backed by the West, everybody will do it, but I think we should reap the benefits of what our science, ancient science is. So anyways, pregnant women, avoid doing this Abhyanga Snan during your pregnancy. If you are menstruating, avoid this Abhyanga Snan, because there's a lot of stomach massage that you give, so avoid. If you're ill, if you have fever and all, don't need to go to under the hot water, and so avoid this Abhyanga massage. Do not circulate the same, whatever the science behind it is. Also, after this Abhyanga massage, it calms you down. It makes you happy. It makes you get a brighter picture and everything of everything. It just makes you basically happy and calm. So don't start rushing and hustling immediately after your Abhyanga. Take it easy. Drink a lot of water. Detox. You will feel the urge of peeing a lot. Go to the toilet. Pee a lot. It's okay. It's detoxifying your body. So drink a lot of water. Help it aid and detoxify. Drink coconut water if your sugar levels allow you to. Then do not go out in hot blazing sun. Avoid. So that's it. And I don't know if I've mentioned, do not do it on a full stomach. So you have to basically start your day after your morning, whatever rituals you do, start your day with your Abhyanga Snan before your breakfast. So that is it. This is how I do my Abhyanga, Monday and Friday. And if I get one more day free in the week, I would love to do that. Also, do meditate. We will soon do a video when I am capable enough of talking about meditation, when I have reaped enough benefits to stand and say and talk about my benefits about meditation, we'll do a video on that also. But I think you should include Abhyanga, you should include meditation into your life. It really changes you as a person. And yes, that's it. So if you liked today's video, do like and comment and let me know, because you come to me or you privately message me and tell me, oh, I made your recipe, I liked this, I like that. When you ask questions or when you give compliments or when you write comments, A, it is very generous of you. B, it helps others to learn also. So don't be stingy with your likes and comments. If you viewed the video, go ahead and like it. So, and if you want me to show you how I make my oils and how I make my utna and all of that, do let me know. Till then, take care and bye.